Now, it's a bit slow with this one, but this is going to be my 5 10 out of 10 designer fragrances, and obviously I'll follow it up eventually with a 5 10 out of 10 niche fragrances, and there's 2 honourable mentions in it. Okay, so let's get started. The honourable mentions just quickly are little ones, and they're not the same, but they're both rose ones, and they both kind of are the designer or are they niche or whatever, doesn't really matter, but they're kind of the upper range designers. And the first one is Tom Ford's Noir de Noir. Only a little one so far, and that's just a beautiful dark rose, kind of gothic, warm, chocolatey loveliness. And the other one is quite new to me, but I am utterly addicted, and that's Ombre Nuit from Christian Dior. And again, another beautiful rose one, quite powdery, very sensual, a little bit musky, a little bit woody. Just 2 absolutely beautiful fragrances that probably one day will grow and mature into full bottles, but absolutely love them. So they're my honourable mention. Look at this, I'm doing it properly for once. Test stripped from nose, there's an advert for your nose, not really. But first up on the list is this lovely one, which I've talked about quite a lot, and I do think this is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. It's fairly inexpensive, and it's raspberry and vanilla from Pocket Sense. Now then, obviously I'm not going to talk for ages about them and go through the whole process, but basically this is opening up with this lovely raspberry rose, touches of citrus. It's very fresh on the opening, and it's just very lovely. And I've recently wore this on a very, very hot summer's day, just out of curiosity to see what it was like, because it's not a soft fragrance, and it has a lot of depth and a lot of body, but it's so smooth and airy that it kind of works. I think it could be an all seasons one. I have to see what it's like in the bitter cold, but on the sun this just jumped off my skin. It's not obviously it's an extrait de parfum, so it's not a massive projector kind of thing, but it does last. But it just surrounded me with this lovely, it's like a raspberry milkshake without being over creamy, and the rose gives it a nice sort of depth and warmth. And then there's the lovely musks. So yes, that is the first one of my 10 out of 10s. And judging these 10 out of 10s, you have to take everything into consideration. The blending in this is wonderful. The notes, it's very unique, I think. It's very well put together. And topping it off is, I think it was £40, spot on. So that's the first one, and that's raspberry and vanilla from Pockets. Next up on the list is quite a new one to me, and that's Dupe Le Ban, or Le Bain, or Le Bon, or whatever you want to call it. And this one, I just can't believe how good it is. It is ultra inexpensive. The blending is fantastic. It's not loud or shouty like you associate dupes to be with. I don't believe this is a female fragrance, in my opinion. I think it's very unisex. It's just that sweet, resinous, beautiful vanilla. There is a bit of sweet freshness in it. It's just so calming and easy to wear. And as it goes on, I mean, now it's just quite kind of sweet and almost fizzy bubbly, but as it develops on, you get lots of spices in it and warmth, and I start to get a little bit of a lovely crumbly almond. So yeah, that's Dupe Le Ban, and that is also a 10 out of 10 fragrance from, in my opinion, an absolutely fantastic brand. Thanks for that. Next we have what I consider to be the only freshie on this list, and this one again I well, you would say I might hype it to hell. I don't think I do. I think it's worth it. I think this again is ridiculously inexpensive. It is quite unique. It's super well blended. It does work most months. I wouldn't say it would particularly work well in the cold because it kind of disappear. But as the only freshie on the list, this is just something beautiful. Actually, it smells very different on a strip. Yes, it does. Just goes to show the difference between spraying something on your skin and something on a strip. This is quite, it's actually quite medicinal on this strip. You get a lot more of the citruses than that. And it feels a lot heavier and syrupier. Yeah, I won't smell that off that because it's pointless. It smells nothing like what the fragrance does. This is like a very watery, powdery, effervescent, fresh, lovely, like an aquatic river rose, I'd say. Imagine rose petals and florals floating down a warm, fresh river over the stones, with some lovely, beautiful smells in the air of other florals. It's a very easy wear, very refreshing. I think it's very alluring. I can't see it ever offending anyone. Gorgeous fragrance, and that's Burberry Brit. Now I think as we get to know each other, these lists can be a bit predictable, but still they are my 10 out of 10s, and at least you know they really are. So next up is this beautiful, beautiful fragrance. How could this not be on a 10 out of 10 list? At least one from this range. I know we all kind of like different ones. Obviously this is the Parfum, but this lacks versatility, let's say. It isn't the easiest thing to find an occasion to wear it, but I wear this anytime I fancy. It's beautiful. This was one that someone had sent me a little sample of, smelt it, instant love, but it was one of them where I thought, it's quite pricey this, so I kept wearing it, probably practically finished it over a weekend and just ordered it. It's an instant love. Again, on the strip it's quite different to what it smells like on the skin. On the strip it's quite dark. It's actually quite boozy weirdly on the strip. But again, I don't know why I don't know why I decided to do that this time. I don't really smell like the fragrances. This is like it still has that iris, it's still a big part of it, but to me this is much darker. It's quite different to the Intense, and it's very different to the original. The addition of the leather and the rose kind of take this to a whole nother plane of existence. This it's got the sensuality and the warmth of the Intense, and it's got the class and the ease of wear and the kind of likability of the original, and then this just dresses it up. This puts a suit on it, gives the guy a rose, makes him the most handsome guy in the world, dripping in confidence and self-assurance. This really is a masterpiece, I think, and it is easily a 10 out of 10 fragrance. In fact, I call it an 11 out of 10 fragrance. And it is quite expensive for a designer, but I think for what you get, we're lucky that this is only on average about £80-90. Because I think for what you get, this could easily be a £150-200 bottle. Its quality it's just a fantastic fragrance. So that's Dior. Finally on this quick little list is this. This was a blind buy. Don't blind buy, it's naughty. But this was a blind buy. I was talking to Steve from Frags to Riches, and we both loved the original, and we were both saying, had we tried the others? And he went for the Essence one, and I decided to go for this one from reading from the notes. We kind of swapped decants and that, see what each other thinks. But this was just, I love it. I'm not going to learn from my mistakes, and now it's just dribbled on me. I must admit, for me personally, people seem to like these Bulgari bloody sprayers. I don't. I think they're a pain and it kind of weed on me. But basically this is, it's a beautiful opening. You get the hints of the tuberose and the kind of booziness. I think it's tuberose in this one anyway. Floral. And as it develops, it gets darker and darker and richer, and there's these lovely powdery musks there, and the booze stays through it, but it's this dark leather that kind of is the base of it. And I'm not a leather person, but with this, mixed with the other notes, it's a very sophisticated, classy. Again, you know, I think they're all unisex, but this is a very classy gentleman fragrance. Oh God, I love it. And you also get a little bit of smokiness, and there's a tiny touch of oud, just to give it something more. And again, weirdly, they are very different smelling, but it is along the same lines as this, as what this is to like the other two, the original and the DR on the 10s. This is what this is to the original Man in Black. It's got that kind of more grown up, more sophisticated, more sensual, more confident, more mature. I can never stop smelling this. It's another 10 out of 10 fragrance. And the thing is with this, again, it's mid-range price, and I don't think it's the easiest thing in the world to get a hold of at the moment, but it's an absolutely fantastic fragrance, and that's Bulgari's Man Black Orient. No little song at the end of this one, just it's a really interesting list to do, isn't it? And I will get round to the niche ones, and like I say, I've banned myself from putting any Kilians in them to just try and mix it up a bit. But what are your favourite 10 out of 10 fragrances? What do you think makes a 10 out of 10 fragrance? Is it to do with price, quality, whether you like it, whether other people like it? Anyway, enjoy the video, folks.